Greetings and you for visiting my channel. Stay tuned for more updates by subscribing and following. Okay, let's begin. The Judgment Day is familiar with the 16-time champion in question, that is, the father of Dominic Mysterio, who is notoriously uncooperative. Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley were among the many famous people who lost devastatingly during SummerSlam. Their longtime stablemates deceived them, leaving them astonished after the summer's largest party. A 16-time champion could be the ally that the eradicator and archer of invasion need after being kicked out of the group that many would say they founded. Since Rhea Ripley, Damian Priest, and RY have all left the faction, it may be prudent to seek assistance from the Hall of F, as Rey Mysterio's group has been at odds with RY for years due to filthy Dom. It may not make much sense at first, considering that Rey Mysterio likely blames Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest for his son's attitude change. However, considering how much of a pain Dirty D is, he might be willing to lend a hand to the duo if it means getting Dominic back on track. It would be interesting to see that Priest and Ripley team up with the one person Dominic Mysterio despises the most, but for now, it's just speculation. How this civil war among Judgment Day participants plays out is something that only time will reveal. In this revised Judgment Day, the man responsible for Damian Priest's defeat at SummerSlam, Finn Balor, is at the helm, and Damian is itching to get his hands on him. The new leader of the organization, Finn Balor, the former World Heavyweight Champion, will finally face Balor, but in the meantime, he has to find a way to handle the Judgment Day clone that will surely do all it takes to ruin his Raw experience. An all-out conflict between Priest, Ripley, and the new Judgment Day will be featured on Raw over the next few weeks, if not months. Whoever wins from now on Monday nights, you should keep an eye on them, albeit it's still unknown. Priest and Ripley found themselves in a precarious situation. The brutality of Judgment Day was intensifying. Their domination was fueling faction strife, tensions were running high, and a tempest was brewing that might separate them. Once allies, Priest and Ripley were now on the outs. Partners understood they required an outside influence to restore equilibrium after discovering the one person with the authority and expertise to aid the famous 16-time world champion John Cena. A rift had opened up inside the Judgment Day Priest due to Finn Balor's aggressive tactics and dogged desire of dominance. The Priest's strong leadership and unwavering commitment to justice put him at odds with Balor-Rhea. For weeks, the tension had been steadily rising. Powerhouse Ripley needed leadership since she knew the group's disintegration might have disastrous consequences. Her mind was just as powerful as her body. Someone who had prevailed that night after overcoming similar challenges as the locker room buzzed with activity. Priest and Ripley waited backstage, their minds racing. Nevertheless, they stood aside, completely absorbed in their profound discussion. "This cannot go on, Damian," as Ripley said calmly but firmly. "You're right," the priest nodded, his worried dark eyes reflecting his worries. "Judgment Day will bring about its own demise unless we take action. I mean, Rhea, who can we put our faith in? Someone with experience and wisdom should lead and unite us. John Cena understands how to stop a squad like ours from going under." Thus Ripley's expression became more determined as she locked eyes with him. For an instant, the priest paused. Some people loved Cena, while others disliked him because of his divisive personality. Given his background and the esteem he enjoyed in the locker room, is it really feasible that he will provide us a hand, despite the fact that his presence alone could provoke aggressive responses? Priest inquired, his tone betraying growing uncertainty. Before Cena even showed up, dressed in his signature casual style, Priest and Ripley were already pacing, practicing their lines. He seemed like a seasoned Damian Rhea, all composed and assured. With a friendly yet inquisitive tone, he nodded and asked, "What brings you here?" With a twinkle of optimism, Ripley grinned. They knew they had to tread carefully when approaching Cena due to his notoriously crowded schedule, but they succeeded in arranging a private meeting for the next week. Cena is always willing to help anybody who genuinely wants his time. With unwavering determination, Ripley advanced. "Please, John, provide us a hand. There needs to be a leader who can show us how to put things back together, because Finn's ambition is causing Judgment Day to fall apart." With a thoughtful look on his face, Cena listened intently. "Being in charge of a faction isn't simple, and I know firsthand how difficult it is when there's internal conflicts. If I can be of assistance, how come? In order to maintain the integrity of Judgment Day, we rely on your expertise and insight." A gruff but earnest voice emerged from the priest as he talked. "John, you've been there and done that. Through adversity, you have emerged more resilient." Finale put a little smile on his face. "I'm being playful.